Welcome back guys, hope you're all doing great, and today in this video we are going to see how to create a React Native mobile application for both Android and iOS. Actually, we can create a mobile application by using React Native CLI and the Expo CLI, and in this video we are going to learn about how to create an application by using React Native CLI more detailedly and briefly. And now let's see what our app is doing. So if you have a look at this app, it's having this nice UI design, and you can swipe it to change from one song to another like this. So gesture is working fine, and if you're playing this song, if you hit this play button, it will start playing that song, so it's working fine. And I can move this slider that will adjust this track timing and duration, and it will play according to that duration, so that's also working fine. Once I reach the end of the song, see here, once I reach this end of the song, it will automatically switch back to the next track. See, it's working fine. And I can toggle this repeat mode. If I click this repeat mode, now this same track will repeat again and again and again. Look at here. Let me keep it at the end. So now that song is going to end. Just 3 seconds more. Once it's end, the same song is playing now. It's not moving to the next track. Look at it, how awesome it is. And then now let me pause it and let me make it as a queue. Now it's repeat the entire queue. Let me move to the end of my queue. So I'm having, what to say, I'm having four or five different songs. Okay, so now I'm at the end of my queue. Actually, it's loading a slight delay because my data, everything is coming from the Firebase cloud storage. If you're keeping everything in your local storage, it will work fine. But when it comes to a real-time project, you can't keep all the audio files and the image files, everything in your local, so that will increase the app size. So that's why I keep it everything in the cloud storage. Okay, so now it's in a repeat all mode. Let me move to the end of the queue, end of the song. Let me play it. So now it's going to end. Once it's end, it automatically moves to the starting song of this queue. So the queue is working perfectly, and if you notice that it's also having this notifications icon. If you expand it, it's having this options over there also. I can pause it and I can play back it, and this will work in the background also. If you minimize this, it will work in the background. Okay, so I hope you guys are excited, because I'm so excited to drop this video. So if you like this video, if you're watching, if you're watching my video for first time, give a like and subscribe to my channel. And without wasting your time, let's get started. Okay then, so first what we have to do is you need to open your command prompt, open it and navigate to your desired file location, folder location. So first what you need to do is you need to install the React Native. So let's go to our browser and search for React Native. Over here, if you open it, so you can find a step-by-step guide over here, so how to install the complete project and everything over here. So let's go to environment setup, setting up the environment. So here, as I said, we have two kinds of Expo CLI and React Native CLI. So in this video, we are going to use the React Native CLI to create our project. Actually, I'm using Windows and Android. If you're using Mac, you can go with iOS. But in this video, I'm going to show you how to create Android. But this code will work perfectly for both Android and iOS. So no problem in that. Even if you're using Mac, it will work good. So now let's scroll down. You need to, if you're a Windows user, you need to download the Android Studio to run the Android emulator. And if you're using the Mac, you need to download the Xcode to run your iOS simulator. So even though if you don't have that functionalities, that much configuration for your laptop, you can use your own device to test your Android app, what we are going to design now. You just need to enable your USB debugging mode and then connect it with your USB cable with your laptop or computer. That will work fine. So go ahead and download the Android Studio and download all the necessary package and everything for the Android Studio. Once you're done, come back and follow from here. Once it's done, what you need to do is I need to create the React Native package. So before starting this React Native, before creating a project, you need to make sure that you already install the React Native CLI in your machine. So what you need to do is open up your command prompt, and then you need to copy this from here, and you need to run the following command in your machine, that is npm install -g React Native CLI. So this might take a few minutes, so you need to sit tight and wait until it gets done. But in my machine, I already done but you guys need to install this one, then only you can create the React Native project. So once you're done with that command, then what we need to do is we need to create our project. So npx React Native init awesome project. Awesome project is your project name. You can use your whatever project name you want. In my case, I'm just going to copy it and I'm going to paste it over here. Oops, copy it again, paste it, and here I'm going to use the app name as music player underscore YouTube. So this is my project which I'm going to create. So this might take more than a while, maybe 3 minutes, 4 minutes. So it depends on your laptop configuration. So please be patient until it's get done. But in our case, I already created the project. Okay, so I already created the project and it's ready and it's good to go. So let me open my project. CD music player. I'll open it in my Visual Studio Code. Okay, so these are the project. This is the project folder structure. You can see that it's having the index.js, which is mounting our main app, which is this file app.js. It's having some bunch of code in it already, so don't worry about it. And if you notice over here, we having the both Android and the iOS. Android, these are for we need to do some configurations for each and everything for Android, and here and there we need to do lots of configurations. So let's see, we'll do one by one. And then now what we need to do is let's open my Android simulator. So I already opened my Android simulator, so it's currently up and running. Then let's fire up and see how our project is running. So let me open my browser, and now I need to start my project. So you don't need to run this, so because it will automatically start your Metro bundler, so we don't need to worry about that. So go to your project folder and run this command npx React Native run Android. Once I press enter, this will start running your Metro bundler, and it will see this is that Metro bundler, and it's started. Keep it minimized, don't close it. And initially it will take few seconds or few minutes to create all the configurations and everything, because it needs to download few files from the internet, and it will build the project and it will install that app in your simulator or in your mobile phone. It depends on your network connection, so please be patient until it gets done. Once it gets done, it will automatically open that particular app in your simulator. So it's already 90% it's done. Let's wait. 92, 95, come on, 97. Yeah, its build is successful. Now it's loading my project over here. It's building that index.js file. If you have a look at it, it's building that index.js file. So far it built a 20, 30. It's good, it's building. And here we go. So our app is up and running fine so far, so nothing, no problem in that. It's working so far so good. Now what we need to do is I need to go back to my code, open it. I don't need nothing over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make few changes in this thing, like I'll delete everything. So before going to delete all these things, I'm going to add few necessary files to our project over here. So what I'm going to add is I'm just going to create a new new folder called screens, where we are going to maintain all our screens. Inside the screens, I'm going to create a new file called music player.js, because later in this project, if you wish to update a playlist or a home screen or anything else, you need to maintain it in a separate folder. That's why we are creating the screens folder, where we are going to maintain our all these screens in a separate folder. So it's done. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete everything in the app.js. Literally, I deleted everything. So before start writing the coding, make sure that you already installed these snippets. Mostly, if you're watching this video, we are for the React projects, we are using this um, React snippets in my videos. So anyway, you just download this React snippets, which is really useful when you're writing the React code. Download this ES7 React snippets. Go ahead and download this. And for code formatter, I'm using the prettier. I'm using this prettier. So because whenever we are writing a bunch of code, so it need to be formatted and maintained clean. Okay, so download that one. Once it's done, all what you need to do is you just need to run rnfe. That means React Native Functional Export Component. If you press enter, it will create this basic structure for your function component. And then let's do the same thing for rnfe. So our music player is done. Now what we need to do is inside this, I'm going to, instead of this text, I'm going to bring my music player, and here I'm just going to have like a text like React Native music player. Okay, so let's save it and save it, and you can see that it's instantly refreshed. You can see that it's showing that React Native music player. So now we need to style it a little bit. So for the styling purpose, we are going to use the style sheet. We are going to use the style components style sheet to style our component. So const style equals style sheet dot create. We are creating that style sheet, and inside that we are passing the object. So I'm just going to create the container, and then open it, flex 1. It should occupy the complete flex. Actually nothing will happen. Let's we need to give this container to this style equals style is the object which we created for the style sheet, and the style is the basic style. Actually, if you have noticed over here, we are using view instead of div, because here view means it's kind of like a division in the website. Okay, wherever you need to use a division, think like you need to use view. Okay, instead of division you need to use view, and then instead of paragraph tag you need to use text. Okay, so if you go through this website completely, okay, I recommend if you're using the if you're learning the React Native for first time, I recommend to go through this document in and out completely, because this is really helpful. Okay, and now we loaded our style dot container over here. Save the changes. Where is it? Okay, And now let's go to our music app. Let's add some styles over here also. So now we need to write the styles for your music app. Oh my god. So const style equals style sheet dot create. I need to import the style sheet. That's why it's not showing style sheet. So style sheet, and open the object. We need to pass an object just like we are going to create the container for this style sheet. And it's going to use flex 1, and the background color, I'm just going to give the background color for now as 555, and align the items in the center, justify the content in the center, save the changes. Okay, nothing has happened because we need to use this container for our view. Style is equals style dot container, save the changes. Now here we go. You can see that the color is applied and our content is exactly in the center of the screen. Now next, what we need to do is, actually for this project we are using two different packages. So now let's install the two different packages. The first package is the React Native Vector Icons, and you can find their GitHub link. I actually dropped all these links in the description box. You can click it from there. If you scroll down, if you click the installation, and here we go, we can find this command over here. Okay, so I'm using the yarn. If you already installed the yarn package in your machine, you can use the yarn, or else just copy this command and paste it in your terminal. So let me go ahead and I'll stop the project. Let me stop it. CLS, copy it, and I'm just going to add yarn add, give it. This will install that necessary package to it. Actually, even though once it's downloaded, we need to do some changes for the we need to do some changes for this vector package to run perfectly. So what we need to do is, if you scroll down, where is the iOS? For iOS, you just need to, if you're using a Mac user, you need to follow these instructions, what they are mentioned to do. Okay, you need to follow it, and you need to create all these things. You just need to copy it, and you can find this inside your iOS section. If you go to the iOS over here, okay, and inside the iOS info.plist, you need to copy that line from here, and you need to paste it over here. But in our case, we are not going to use that thing, so just copy it and then paste it over there. Okay, then anyway, we'll do that one. We'll copy it and go to that project and info.plist, and then where it is ending over here, where we need to paste it. Okay, so these things you need to add only if your code is not working properly. So see, if you add a property called things over here, if it is won't autocomplete on all those things, if you're feeling it is not auto-completing on all those things, you need to add this code over there. So let me leave it. Later I'll check with my phone. If it is not working fine, then I'll add it back. Close it. Okay, fine. Now let's do the changes for our Android. If you scroll down, we can find the settings for the Android too. For Android, what you need to do is you need to copy this line, And if you go to the Android app bundle.grade, not Android bundle.gradle, you need to go to Android app, because there are two files. If you open the Android, you can directly find the bundle.gradle. You should not touch this one. You need to go to open the app. Inside the app, you can find the bundle.gradle. Click it and scroll to end. And over there, paste that line. Save the changes. Okay. And now let's see whether it's installed or not. Okay, it's installed. Now we need to add one more package. That package is the React Native slider. React Native slider. Just click this GitHub link. You can check my description box. If you scroll down, you can find this option to install. Just if you're using Yarn, copy this command, or just copy this command and install it. I'll just copy this one and I'll install it over here. So this, let it install. Now open up your the your music player application. Inside the music player application, now what we are going to do, let me close this bundle.gradle, and here I'm going to add the icons. So I'm going to import that package. Import icons. Imports icons from React Native Vector Icons slash icons. Copy it and paste it here, because make sure that's no spelling mistake. Then use that icons slash. So if you want to know about these icons much more deeper, if you search for React Vector Icons, and you can open their directory, and here you can search their complete icons. If you scroll down, you can see ant design. Lots of designs are here. So in this case, we are using icons. Where it is? Yeah, here it is. We are using this one, icons. Okay. Now let's say I'm going to use icons. I'm giving the name for it. Name hot outline, and then I'm going to fixing the size of it. Size, let me give the 30. Okay, let me save the changes. Okay, so now let me close this and I rerun our, it's done. Let me rerun our simulator. So this will run the simulator once again. Our Metro bundler started. Cool. So this will install that necessary packages and everything. It will download that the packages which we added in our Gradle for the React Vector icons. If everything is done, actually it's showing an error. What happened? I think instead of minimizing it, I just closed it. I think so. Let's check one more time. Yep, it's loaded, and now it's building. Yeah, here we go. Last time I think so, instead of minimizing it, I thought I closed it. So now we can see that the icons, it's working fine, and our text is, everything is over there. So we are good to go now. Now what I'm going to do is, I'm not going to give any, change any color for this and all those things. I'm just going to remove it. Okay, so here, now what I'm going to do is, I'm going to create a new section. Okay, I'm going to create a new section for this. Just a moment. Okay, so now what we are going to do is, we need to create a new section for this. So let me I'll change this to, I'll remove these things from here. Okay, save it, And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add one more thing for main container, because we are going to keep everything inside the main container only. Okay, and yep, why we are creating these things is because I'll show you why we are creating these things. Main container, so flex 1 and align the items in the center and justify the content. Oops, we forgot to add the semicolon. Come on, comma, justify the content center. Okay, so now save the changes. Actually what we need to do is we need to maintain all these things in a safe area, because it should not go outside the notch. If it is a notch display, it will make a problem. So we need to maintain everything in a safe area. So I'm going to wrap everything into a safe area view. Safe area view, and bring everything into this one. Okay, so now it will work perfectly. And what we need to do is I'm just going to give this style, container style, to this. Okay, our color, everything is working fine. And for this view we are going to keep it as main container, and now that will keep our every content into the center. Okay, so I'm just going to leave this main container as empty, because later we are going to keep the image, and we are going to keep that um, slider progress slider, and we are going to keep that music controls. All those things, it's going to be inside that view. And right after here we are going to create one more view, and I'm going to paste that icons over here, save it. Now you can see that the icons is in the bottom over here. Okay, let me change the color for this icon. So I'm just going to change the background color also as well. Instead of that, I'm going to use 222831. Now the background color is changed, and for icon I'm going to use the color as hash 888888. I think it should be 6 times. Yeah, now the icon is working fine. But if you notice that there is no touchable or sensible touchable opacity, or it's you can't feel whether you tap that icon or not. So for that, what we are going to do is we are going to add touchable opacity. Okay, so now the touchable opacity, we need to wrap this icon into the touchable opacity. And for this touchable opacity function, I'm going to use on press event, and I'm going to use a callback function. Currently this callback function is going to be an empty. Now if you have a look at it, if I tap this, you can see that it's having this nice touchable opacity. Look at that, it's good. Okay, so now let's create a new style for this view. Style, it's going to be style dot bottom container. Okay, bottom container, save the changes, and I'm going to copy this touchable, and I'm going to paste it 4 more times, save the changes. Now we have all the 4 icons over here. No worries, we will fix everything through our styles. Okay, so write the styles for your bottom container. So this bottom container, like we can say, um, just a second. Okay, so instead of inside this bottom container, I'm going to create one more view to wrap everything, because this thing need to be in the center, so this thing need to be everything in a single line. So I'm just going to wrap it one more time into a new view, and I'll bring all these things inside to it. Now for this, I'm going to create a style, and I'm going to name that style as style dot icon, bottom icon wrapper, bottom icon wrapper, because this is our complete bottom section. Inside the bottom section we having the icon wrapper. Later in future, if you want to add one more division, you can add after this, but right now we are going to use this one only. So I'll copy this and I'll paste it over here. So then what we need to do is we need to add some styles for it. First I need to bring everything, these icons, in a separate on a single row. So flex direction, it's going to be a row. Then they should align themselves perfectly, so justify the content space between, and they should use the width of 80% of its parent element. This should be as a string, otherwise it will throw an error. So their parent element is going to be this bottom container. They are going to use the exact 80% of this bottom container. If you save the changes, now everything will be in the single line. But the problem is, you can see that the bottom section doesn't have any width and height. So sorry, doesn't have any height. So we need to write some styles for your bottom container now. So for the bottom container, I'm going to make the width. Okay, when it comes to width, I can't fix the width specifically like 350, 400, something like that. Oh, because time to time the devices will change, the device screen size will change. So we need to adapt according to the screen size automatically. So for that, what we need to do is we are going to use a option which comes along with your React Native, that is the dimension. So by using the dimension, we are going to calculate. I'm just going to destructure it by using width and height equals dimensions dot get the window, whatever the app, wherever the app is loading, in which particular screen, it doesn't matter, get that window height and width and keep it inside this parameters, inside this object. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this width and give it here. Now it will take that complete window width, and then we need to align it perfectly. So to align it, what we are going to do is I'm going to align the every items in the center. Align items center. Then what we need to do is we need to save the changes. We'll see. Okay, fine, that's fine. And we need some padding from the both top and bottom. So padding vertical 15. Now that will make padding some space over there. And I need to have one border. So border top color is going to be hash 393E46, and this should be wrapped as a string, and the border width, it should be 1 pixels. Say the changes. Now you can see that we're having that border and we're having these different icons over here. So I'm going to change the icon. So this, it's supposed to be repeat, and this is supposed to be share outline, and this ellipsis horizontal. So you can search these files, these class names and everything from your this icons over here. You can search it and just copy it and give it to your why it's not loading. So let me reload this app. Actually, it's responding. Wait, maybe is there any mistakes? Oh, class name is wrong. That's why. Ellipsis. Yeah, now it's everything is working fine. I misspelled the class name. That's why it's showing that error. Okay. I'm sorry. So just a minute. Let me drink some water. That's fine. So now what we need to do is we successfully completed our bottom section. So now we are moving to our top section. So before moving into our top section, I'll show you I'm already having some few assets over here, which is we are going to use for our project, where it is React Native assets. So let me bring this assets to my oh, wait a second, let me minimize it. Everything is opened. Bring it over here and paste it in the root directory, and this asset folders is already in the description box. You can download it from there. This asset folders, it's having the audio files which we are going to use it. These audios are completely free to use because I don't want to claim my video in a copyright. So I'm using the YouTube audio library files. It's the most popular songs in the YouTube audio library. I'm using the top 5 songs over here, and it's having those images, few images over here, which is not completely relevant to the audio file, but for your project you can use your own image and songs as you preferred. Okay, anyway, after this what we need to do is I need to create, okay, so right after here new folder called model, and here you need to create a new file called data.js, where we are going to keep all our data over here. So I just already created that one over here. So let me open it in the notepad file, and then let me copy it and I'll paste it. Where is my file? Over here. I'll paste it here. So use the same name because later we are going to use the React track player to create the music player. So that music player will expect the same object name, artist, artwork, URL. So use the same name for your data.js. Okay, so for your reference I give the audio, but apparently my audio files and everything is coming from the Firebase data storage, because when it comes to real project you can't keep all your audio files in your local storage, so you need to keep it in the cloud and you need to push it, get the link from there, and then you need to keep it over here. Okay, do the same thing for the image, but currently I'm just using only for audio songs. I keep it in the cloud storage. Okay, so kindly make sure, please note this point, you should use the same name, otherwise in future you will get the error, because while at the time of creating this one I made a simple mistake, then it cost me an hour to figure it out what is the mistake in that. Okay, now save the changes, close this file, close it. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to display an image over here. Okay, so display that image, and let me bring that, let me close this one, let me keep it over here. So bottom section is completed. So here we are going to bring that image first. Okay, so let's load that image. Where it is, yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to wrap it in a view. Okay, and wrap that view, and this is going to have a style. Okay, we need to create a style for this. Style dot I'm going to keep it that as image wrapper. Okay, inside this image wrapper only we are going to have the image tag, which is going to from your React Native. Use the image tag from the React Native. Okay, React Native, and make sure it's imported in that package React Native. Cool. Then press enter. Here we need to give the source. So for currently I'm just using the file for temporarily. Later we will change it dynamically. So procure that source. Okay, and then for this I'm going to use the style little bit. So style, for the styling purpose, style colon sorry, dot music image. Okay, save the changes. Now that will brings your image over here, so we need to write some styles for it. So let me write the styles for the image wrapper first. So where it is, right after here, open up and write the following styles for your image wrapper. So image wrapper, first for this image wrapper we are fixing the width as 300 and the height as 340, and for the margin bottom we need to have some space. Okay, and after this I'm going to write the styles for the music image which we already created over there, and here the width is going to be 100% of its parent element, and this is supposed to be a string, and the height it's going to be 100% of the parent, and then border radius it's going to be 15 pixels. Save the changes. Now you can see that it's having this nice um, border radius and effect, and we can add some shadow effects, but for Android by default the shadow will be a dark, but because we are already having this dark mode at the back, dark color at the back, so it doesn't have that much difference. But for iOS we can customize a lot. So anyway, I'm just typing it even if it doesn't seen any changes, but this will make changes when it comes to iOS. So for Android we need to use the package, use these styles called elevation, and I'm going to use the 5 pixels. Okay, but for iOS you need to define, you can customize everything. Shadow color, for the shadow color for iOS I'm going to use the mild gray and white combination color, and I'm going to use the shadow offset width colon 5, height colon 5, and after this shadow opacity it's going to be 0.5, and the shadow radius 3.84. Save the changes. Okay, now we need to use this. So actually if you want to use the say multiple classes for your single view, what you need to do is you need to I need to wrap this into an array and comma style dot elevation. Okay, currently it has the dark shadow effect over here, but when it comes to iOS you can see a mild white shadow over there. Okay, so our image is done, pretty awesome. Then what we need to do right after here, we need to bring that slider. Okay, we need to bring that slider. For that slider, let's see what we have to do. What we have to do. Mm -hmm. According to my app, not slider. After this, we need to have the that artist name and song and everything. I missed that. So here, song content. So create one more view for it and give a style name for it as song content. We can say as song content. Or I don't want any style for this, so let me leave it as it is. And here I'm going to create two text container. Okay, inside this I'm going to have some title, and then for this, I'm going to have the style. Oops. Style dot song title. Copy it and paste it, and this is going to be song artist, and here some artist name. Save the changes. Now we can see that it's having that some artist song name and the artist name it's displaying over there. Let me copy this style and we'll go down and we'll write the styles for these things and everything. Okay, so right after here, paste it. The song title for this style, what we are going to use is, I'm just going to make the font size first as 18 pixels, and font weight I'm going to use 600 to, it need to be slightly bold, and I'm going to make it text align as center, and also I'm going to give the color. Okay, color we can say hash WE. Save the changes and you can see that the color is changed over here. And let me copy it and paste it one more time, and this time it's going to be song artist instead of 18, 16, 600, 300, and now you can see that the song artist name is displaying over there. Okay, so you can see that we are repeating these two lines of code again and again, so we can create a common class and we can keep it over there. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to create a class called song content, and I'll keep these over there, the common classes as a separately. And let me go there, and over here what I'm going to do is, I'm going to wrap these two. Let me delete these two, delete it, hold your alt key and select these both, open the array, style dot song content comma style dot song title, and here change this to song artist. Save the changes, and now still it's working as it is how we wanted it. Okay, so now we done the song content. So next what we need to do is, we need to move on to our slider. Okay, so we are going to add the slider. So for that only we added the React slider. So first let's create a view for it. View. Okay, now let me open my browser, and where is the React slider? If I scroll down, you can see that how the slider is need to be created. We need to import this package, copy it. Okay, copy it and then import that that package. Sorry. And right after here, I'm just going to import it, React slider, and where it is over here inside here. Okay, let's type it. Okay, so we will type it and later we can copy that same thing from there anyway, because while typing we don't want to make any unwanted mistakes. So slider self closing component, inside the slider first you need to pass a value. So initially the value I'm passing as 10. Okay, later this value will be changed according to your music progress. So now I'm just giving 10, and then the minimum value and maximum value, all those things will copy from here. Minimum value, maximum value, minimum track tint color, maximum track tint color, like that. So copy it, paste it over here, save the changes. Okay, now you can see that we have this icon, the small round shape icon over there. No, not an icon, round shape design over there. Okay, what I'm going to do is, this maximum value I'm going to make it as 100, and the after this I'm going to add one more thing, that is this one. You need to add this one also, thumb tint color, and use the same color, this color code, and then maximum track tint color is going to be the same color. Copy it and paste it here, and the minimum track tint color, and maximum track tint color is going to be white color. Save the changes. And it's also having on sliding function, on sliding complete. That means if you scroll down and if you search for on sliding complete over here, so it's a callback function when the user slides that slider. So for currently this function, it's a callback function, it's going to be an empty function. Okay, now let's see, we have that the color is changed now. Now let's write some styles for this. So style equal style dot progress bar. Copy this, and we need to write these styles for it now. So scroll down where it is at the end over here. Okay, so for the progress bar we need to write these styles. First we need to fix the, oh, not this one, progress bar. Yeah, so I'm fixing the width as 300. No, not 300, 350. And height as 40. And margin top 25. Then flex direction row. Save the changes. Now we can see that, see, we have in the slider, and you can see that it's sliding, and you can slide as per you want. So it's having this. So now the slider is completed. So slider, now it's working fine. So after the slider, now what we need to do is, now we need to bring the duration right after the slider. What we need to do is we need to bring that duration. So this is for music durations, progress durations. Okay, so here I need to add that progress duration. For that, first we need to create a view, overall view for that container. So I'm going to style that container as style dot progress level duration. Okay, and then inside here you can see we are going to have two text containers, and that going to have a style, and that style is going to be style dot progress label text. Initially I'm just going to type like this, later we will change it. Oops, and copy it and paste it one more time. Okay, now if you save the changes, you can see that it's having these two numbers over there. So let's write these styles for the progress level duration first. Okay, so where it is, scroll down, and here paste it. Okay, and for this, first what we need to do is we need to fix the width 340, and the flex direction we need to bring it in the same row, and justify the content space between, and that will brings your content in this corner. Then what we need to do, we need to write these styles for the progress label text. Oh my god, it's cold, it's killing me. And then color hash triple F. Save the changes. Now you can see that it's having the text and everything. So let me bring some font weight 500. Yeah, we can clearly see that now. Okay, then now what we need to do is we need to move on to our music controls. So we successfully bring up our image and the name and everything. Then we need to bring up the controls and everything. After that we can move on for the live integrations. Okay, so this division is done, and our Slider is also done. Okay, so come outside of this view, don't type it inside this view itself because slider view is completed. Now we are going to create a new view for the music controls. Okay, so this is, it's going to have a style called style dot music controls container, and inside this view we are going to have a different icons. Okay, we are going to have 3 different icons. So I'll just copy this, paste it here, 1 2 3, and this is going to be play, skip, back, outline, and the color code is going to be this color code. Okay, and the size I'll just say 35, and let me copy this and give it over here. Instead of back, now it's going to be forward. Save the changes. Now you can see that the playback and the forward, but instead of this hot in, we are going to give the iOS pass circle, and I'm going to make this one as completely big. I can say 75. We'll see. Oops, spelling mistake. Save the changes. Oh, it will take time. Time. iOS pass circle. Let me copy and paste it to avoid mistake. Okay, so now that's loaded, and that color is going to be this color only. Okay, so it's loaded, so we need to write these styles perfectly for this each and everything one by one. So we need to keep them in a proper place. Okay, so now let's write the styles for these things. So scroll down and we need to write these styles. So we are going to write the styles for the music control container. Open it. We are going to keep the flex direction. First bring everything in a row. Save the changes. Now everything is in a row. Then they should align properly. So align items center. Now you can see that they align perfectly. Then now what we need to do is we need to give some space for them. So justify the content space between. Now that will distribute the space between them, but still we didn't give the width, that's why it's not moving. So give the width as whatever the width it can be, 60% of the parent width. So now look at that, it's looking good. Now we need to have some space from the top, so margin top 15 pixels. Cool. Now we done with the our complete design and everything. Okay, it's looking good, and you can see that this image is too close over there, and we might sometimes for different screens you can see that the status bar is looking white, but sometimes it will cause some problem. In that situation, what you need to do is to avoid that. So what I'm saying is, because we given a background color, this background color will overlap your status bar also, so we don't need to do that. So that to avoid that, go to your app.js and import status bar, and right after here use that status bar component. This status bar component is going to, we are going to use the bar style. Bar style is always going to be the light content. Okay, so that will make sure always the status bar as a white, because even though if it is, this is overlapping and everything, it will fix that one. Okay, now we need to fix this image wrapper a little bit. What is the image wrapper? Instead of margin top 25. Okay, so it's too low, 20. 20. Let's see. Okay, so let me reduce the space for this one also 20, and this one I'll keep 10. Perfect. Now everything is perfect. So we're having this image and everything. Now what we need to do is we need to bring the dynamic images over here. That's why we're having this model tag over here. Sorry, model folder. Inside the model we're having the data.js. Now let me load this in our file. Okay, we need to first load our data, then only we can bring the data into our component. So right after here, let me import that songs. Import songs. It's not coming. What is the did I exported it? Yeah, it's exported from double dot slash models slash data. Save the changes. Okay, now the songs, everything is loaded. Now what I'm going to do is I need to render these images according to the image which is inside the songs and everything. So to do that, what I'm going to do is I will create a new flat list. Okay, so if you search for flat list, flat list, flat list, React Native. Okay, so this flat list is helps you to, it's mainly is an interface for rendering basic, just like in the map function which we use to render the React component in the React website. Here we are using the flat list. Okay, so just go through it, what are the functionalities it's having and everything. Just go through this document so you have a clear idea about the flat list. Now let's integrate it inside it. Okay, where it is here. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy this, cut it, cut this view, and I'm going to keep, okay, and right after here I'm going to create a function const render songs equals, and this it's going to have two parameters, that is one is item. It's going to have an object. Inside that object it's going to have two things, item and index, an arrow function, open it, and we are going to return a component. Okay, inside this component paste that changes. Okay, save it. And instead of these things, okay, instead of these things we are going to fetch the item and everything, we are going to replace that image. Now save the changes. Currently there is no image because we didn't create the flat list over here. So we'll create a flat list first. Flat list, make sure that it's importing from the React Native. So flat list, where it is, yeah, flat list, it's imported in the React Native. Open it. Okay, so this flat list, it's going to have the render items. We need to supply the render items for this. So render item is going to be the render song which we created. Render songs. So every time when the item is rendering, it should render this function again and again. This element should be re-rendered. Then the data for that, where the data is coming from, data is coming from the songs which we are already imported. Okay, we need to give the key, otherwise it will throws the error. So key extractor is going to be each item. For the each item we having the item ID. So use the item ID as the key for each and every component, so that's way it can maintain a unique component. Then we need to make this flat list as an horizontal, because by default it will comes in a vertical, so we need to make it horizontal. And then we should enable the paging also, paging enabled. Okay, I don't want to display any that scroll indicators, so show horizontal scroll indicator, it's going to be false. So this will disable that scroll bar, so you don't see that scroll bar. And then scroll throttle, scroll event throttle, Okay, so the scroll event throttle is going to be 16. And on scroll, currently I'm just going to call a callback function. Later we'll add all those things. Okay, now save the changes. Now you can see that that same image is repeated and it's scrolling good. Look at that. Good. Now what we need to do is we need to bring that images. So what I'm going to do, instead of this recur, I'm going to delete it and I'm going to use that item dot what is that, artwork, I think so. What is the name? Yeah, artwork. Copy it and paste it. Now save the changes. Now you can see that all the images are loaded perfectly inside over here. Okay, but still it doesn't look that much great. So what we need to do is we need to wrap this complete view into another view. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create one more view over here, view, and I'm going to bring all this thing into here, and I'm going to write a style for it. Style equals style dot, okay, you can say main image wrapper. Copy it and scroll down and go and write these styles for your main image wrapper. Actually, where is that? What is the image wrapper? Image, where it is? Here it is. So right after here I'll paste it, open it, come up. So absolutely width is going to be the width of the screen, and then justify the content center, and then align the items in the center, and then margin top, it's going to be I don't think so, we don't need margin top because we already added that. Look at that. Now you can swipe it and you can see one by one over here. So now our design is pretty much done. We completed all the design. We having this song name and everything is over here. But when I'm swiping it, I need to bring the name and artist name and everything. So now let's work out on those things. Okay. To do that, what I'm going to do is let me go to my top of the project over here. Okay, and then right after here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a reference. Okay, we are going to create a reference. So to create, before creating a reference, you need to import few hooks from React. What are the hooks we are going to import is we are going to import the hooks like use effect, okay, which helps you to add some custom line in that use effect, so it will re-render that custom lines whenever the entire component is rendered. Then I'm going to use the state to monitor the states and use reference to create a reference for your views. Okay, so now, and what I need to do is over here, yeah, over here, const scroll x, we are going to create a use reference for it. Use reference new animated, not animation, animated, new animated. Okay, new animated. So whenever it's animated, that means whenever you're moving left and right, it should throw back the value. So initially 0, and that it's going to be the current reference. So we are giving that to the, so we are getting the value and we are setting the reference for your scroll X. And now here, by using the use effect function, use effect hook, not a function, use effect hook. I'm going to use effect. Okay, using the use effect, open it, and this use effect will takes two parameter. One is the function, so function is done. Then it's the dependencies. Currently I'm not going to use any dependencies inside here, so let's leave it as empty. Expand it. Okay, so I'm going to add the event listener for it. So scroll x dot add event listener. For that reference we are adding the event listener, and that will take a parameter as an object. That object is going to be the value and the arrow 6 function. Okay, open it. So now what we need to do is you need to understand that how the scroll x is working, how that animated thing is working. So let's console and log it. Console.log. I'll just paste that value. Okay, if you save it. Okay, so we need to create a reference for it. So for that, only if you create the reference it will work, otherwise it will not work. Just a minute. Okay, so now what we need to do is actually, so we need to create a reference for the scroll x what we created. So that means whenever this flat list is scrolling, so we need to trigger it. So what I'm going to do is initially for this flat list we created this on scroll callback function. Inside this callback function you need to write a certain line of code, so just follow me from here. Okay, so this is going to be instead of this callback function, so delete it. I'm going to use the animated dot event. So that will trigger an event. It's a function. Okay, we are going to have an array of objects. Open it. Inside this, the first object is going to be the native event. Okay, it doesn't have it doesn't show you the suggestions, so don't make any mistake. It's going to be the native event. So native event, it's going to have another object, and that is going to be the content offset. Okay, content offset. The content offset is going to have the x. We are going to have the x value. We are supplying the x value. What is the value of scroll x? Whatever the value which is we are getting through the scroll x, we are supplying to the content offset. Okay, come on. Now after this array, we need to enable that native driver. So use native driver as true, so that will trigger it and everything. Okay, so now it's perfect. And it's showing an error. Oh my goodness. So actually what is an error is because so we are using the animated, right? So we need this should be animated dot flat list, and in the same way this render item should be over here. Hold your alt key and press here and there, animated dot view, not here, animated dot view. Save the changes. Okay, and then reload your, yeah, now you can see that it's showing 0 and 0 because its log is working fine, because our scroll it's triggered and it's printing. Now when I scroll it, you can see that it's giving me that screen width, right? 411. If I scroll right side, and it's giving 822. So to make it more clear, so what I'm going to do is let me print. Okay, let me print. So here scroll x value, let me print the scroll x value, and I'll print the device width in the side. Device width in the side, dollar width. Okay, so actually what we are trying to do now is when we are scrolling, we are trying to get the index number, which flat list is currently active. So to that, that's why we are writing these kinds of things, because when the user using this gesture, if he's moving forward and backward, we need to get the index. So we'll go here. If I move right side, we'll come back to the original. So initially the scroll x is 0 and the width is 411. If I move next, you can see that the scroll x value is 411 and the device is 411. And if I move next one, you can see that it's keep on adding your device width for that scroll value. So to find that index, what we have to do is I just need to divide the value with my screen width. I'll get the index now. So const index is equals math dot round. Okay, math dot round, and I'll divide the value by width. Then I'll console that value, console.log width, save the changes. Okay, now if I move it, what is it? Console? No, not width, index. Sorry, index. Now if I'm moving it, you can see that it's giving the index number. This is actually the 0, 1, 2, 3. You can see that it's showing this index number over here. It's showing perfectly. Let me hide this one so that you will not get confused what's happening now. So now if I move here, okay, so if I move right side, oh, what happened? It's not changing. Save the changes. Let me reload one more time. Okay, it's refreshed. Now you can see that it's having this 1. If I move next, you can see that it's having the index number 2. If I move next, it's having this index number 3 and 4. Like means so 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 objects we're having. So it's giving the perfect index numbers over there. Okay, so that index, we got the perfect index number. So I need to save this index number somewhere. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save this index in a state. Okay, so right after, so your state should be always the top, so create it at the top. Const, no, not const, use state. Use this license to create the state easily. So this is going to be song index. Okay, initially the song index is going to be 0, and I'm going to set that song index over here. I'm sorry, song index, where it is. Okay, so here I'm going to set the song index to the index. Now we have that song index over here, so I don't want to print this anymore, so let me hide it. Okay, and then now what we need to do is I'm going to print that song index. Using that song index, I'm going to print the value over here. So open it from the songs, using the song index dot title. Do the same thing for here. Songs song index dot artist. So that will brings that particular name. Even if you're swiping it, you can see that the name is now changing perfectly. Look at that. Okay, so now we integrated that name and everything. Next we are going to use the player. So to integrate the player, you need to install the player package called React Native Track Player. Open it, where it is. Open this. Their GitHub. First, you need to open their documentation. Where it is? Yeah, here it is. Installation. Okay. Just copy this command and then run it in your terminal. So let me pause and let me stop my server. It's already stopped. And now I just need to copy this and I have to paste it here. That will install that track player. Oh, it might take a while, so let it install. Okay, so it's installing now. Good, now it's done. So track player is installed now. Now what I need to do is, okay, so there are lots of procedures over here. If you want to use it, you need to follow. See, for iOS, you need to create this dummy.sift file. So you need to open the Xcode and you need to create this dummy.sift file. That's it. You need to create a new file called dummy.sift and leave it. That's all. It's done. Okay. And for Android, you need to register this device for callback services and all those things. Then only it will work fine. Otherwise, it will not work. There are lots of things out there we need to do. So first, let's see whether this project is now running fine or not. Because this React Native Track Player version number 1.1, it's having lots of problem because for currently, I think so in our package.json, we are having 2.1. Let's see whether it's running perfectly in our cases. In our case, it's building and see, we got an error. It's showing this error. That means this repo, this file is not available now. This is the problem. This file is not available. So what we need to do is we need to do some custom changes in our Gradle file. Okay. So after a long time of research, I finally figured out what is the problem in that. What we need to do is I need to open the Android. Where is the Android? Over here. And you need to open this build.gradle. Not this one. Open the build.gradle. Before editing these changes, by editing this, close this file. Okay, so stop it. Okay. Now what is the thing you need to make some changes over here is I need to make some changes. This Maven Central. From this function only we are getting from this repository only we are getting the error. Instead of that Maven Central, I'm going to use the JCenter. So copy it. I'm going to paste it over here, JCenter. And then for the JCenter, we need to add one more thing. That's the dependency, Google Services dependencies. Let me paste it over here. Okay, and if you scroll down, we having here also we having the Maven Central. So remove that Maven Central, delete it. Okay, and we need to add that JCenter one more time right after here. Okay, so it took me more than 1 hour to find out this error, and finally I found it in the internet thanks to Stack Overflow and few more online forums. Okay, so now we made these changes. Let's fire up our Metro bundler, npx React Native run Android. So this will take quite a minute. So you guys please be patient until it gets done. So it will take more than a while, like a minute or 2 to 3 minutes. Let's see. It's loading all the files and it's building everything. Is it recording? Yeah, it's recording. I'm sorry. It's executing, it's executing. It's executing. It stopped with an error. Let's rerun it again. Minimize this Metro bundler. Now it's building the app. If everything is working fine, it should bring our data. Yeah, perfect. So now the track player plugin is installed successfully and our application is also open perfectly. So make sure you made all these changes, and if it is working perfectly, drop the comment in the comment box. Okay, now what we need to do is, once now we done that step, okay, so we done that step, and if you want to use the Android, you need to make sure that you register for playback service. Otherwise it will shows that you're not registered for the, you will get this error, no task registered for playback services. Okay, so we need to register it first. So I'll show you where it will comes that error. So before going to that, will start writing the coding for our music player, and later I'll show you where you will get that error. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up the music player now. So right after this const function, I'm going to set setup player, okay, equals, it's going to be an async function. Why I'm saying it's an async function is, if I go to get started, and you can see that this is how you need to create, let me zoom in so that you can see it clearly, and this is how you need to create the you need to set up your music player. You need to start it. You can see that it's having the await function. So if it is an await, you need to use an async function only. So async and arrow6 function, asynchronous arrow6 function. Inside I'm going to use the try and catch block, catch the error and console log that error, because while loading that, if I'm getting any error, I need to console log it so that I can see it. Then here await, okay, I need to import the track player. So the track player needs the higher priority, so it need to be imported right after your this React Native bundle over here. So right after here, you import your track, that track player and everything, track player. So React Native track player. Along with this track player, we are going to import few custom properties and all those things. So first one is going to be the capability, and then second one the event, and then a repeat mode to fire the check that repeat mode and everything. Then state, the state will helps you to fetch the current state of the music player, whether it is playing or not playing, all those things. And use playback state. So this use playback state is really helpful to um, figure it out, the pass and resume and all those things. And then use progress is a hook which helps you, which returns the current progress duration of your music player. And then use track player events, use track player events, save all these changes. Okay, so these are all the packages. My prettier is not running. Save the changes. Maybe there is an error. What is an error? Okay, fine. I think there is an error in this function over here. That's why it's not saving. Okay, so now you can see that it's we added all these packages. Okay, so these are the objects and these are the hooks we are going to use for the track player. Okay, make sure you imported that track player right above over here. Okay, so then now what we need to do, import over here await. Await, this function need to wait until the track player is initialized. So track player dot setup player, this will be set up, and then we need to add the tracks for it. So why initial when I start at the initial stage, when we are defining this data.js, I told you you need to follow these exact object names, because it's using these exact object names for the track only. So artist, album, date, artwork, and all those things. Okay, so make sure that you use the same object name, otherwise it will throw us an error. We already defined it, so no problem now. And we need to feed that to our track player. Track player dot, where it is, track player dot add songs. So this will add our songs to our track player. And then now what we need to do is, right after here, I need to create one more function called toggle function, and that function is going to be const toggle playback function. Const toggle playback is going to be an async function, and this is going to have a parameter, and that parameter is going to have a playback state. We are going to pass the playback state as a parameter. Playback state, open it. Okay, so inside this function we are going to first to find out if you want to play or pause, you need to get the current track. Unless if you don't have the current track, which audio is running, so you can't get that state of that audio. So you need to get the current track, which track is currently active. So const current track, we are creating a new instance, and then for this, from the track player, by using get current track, this method I will get the current track. Okay, and then if the current track is not equals to null, that means if the current track is not equals to null, means something is playing in that music player, right? So the current track is not null. And if the playback state, is equals to the state which we already imported. So this state which helps you to get the state of the music player. So if the playback state and this state dot past, okay, not this one, PAUSD, past. So if the playback state is equals to state dot past, that means it's already passed, so we need to play it now. Track player dot play. Okay, else what we need to do, we need to pass it. So await track player dot pass. Okay, so we are getting the current track from by using the get current track method. Okay, so you can go through all these get track and all those things in the API documentation of their official website, so you can check over there. Okay, so here you can see that we are getting the current track by using the get current track method, and we are checking it's not equal to null. That means if it is have any value, if it has any value in it, then I'm verifying if the playback which is coming from we need to wherever I'm calling this, that means when I click it, it will send the playback state. If that playback state is equals to this, the state of the music player is already passed, then start playing it. Otherwise, pass it. Okay, so now I need to call this function somewhere. So what I need to do is, to do that, one second. Okay, so we need to register first. We need to create this playback state in your music player right over here. Okay, so const playback state is equals use playback state. As I already told you, we imported this use playback state in your track music player, in your track player. From that track player, we are getting that we are using this use playback state to fetch the playback state of the music player, and I'm going to pass this playback state to the toggle play function whenever I click this button. So I'll go here, go to the button where it is over here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to customize that icon right now, because when I am playing it, it should be pass. If it is not playing, it should be show that play icon over there, right? So what we are going to do is let me wrap everything into the this component, and inside here we are going to use the playback state. If the playback state has any value, and if it is equals to state dot, not style, state dot play, then you should use iOS hyphen play circle, else you should use the pass circle. Okay, so now what we need to do is I need to call this function over here. Let me close this, and I need to call that function toggle playback state. I'm going to pass this function over there. Okay, so currently nothing has happened, because see, now it's showing that error, no task registered for the key track player, no task is registered. It's showing that message. It's because our track player is not registered and we not yet called our, where it is, and here you need to call that setup player, the function which we created. Okay, you need to call that setup player, otherwise it will not work. Okay, so now the track player is it's ready to it's created and it's ready to work, but when I click it, see here, it's playing the song now. Okay, but you can see that the song is more clumsy and it's not working fine. It's all because our track player is not registered properly in our app. Over where is our index.js, over here, it's not registered properly. So what we need to do is, it's playing the song, everything, but you can see that it's not playing that much so clean and everything. Okay, so what we need to do is, so where it is, if I go there, so if you notice this, see here, our play, pass and play, it's working perfectly. Okay, play, pass, actually it should come in a reverse order. Sorry. This should come here and this should come here. Sorry guys. And now if you save these changes and if you hit this, okay, cool. Now we need to register our, where it is, we need to register this thing, where the Android, yeah, we need to register this playback service. To register that playback service, what you need to do is create a new file called service in your root directory, and that file is going to be service. Okay, so where it is, create a new file called service.js. Okay, inside this service.js, what we are going to do is we are going to add few things over here. If I go to API documentation, if I scroll down, where it is, yeah, this is the line you need to add. Copy it and go to your service.js, and you need to import the package also. Import track player from React track player. This should be same. Save the changes, and you need to register this. So for registering, I'll just need to see, still we are getting that warning, no app is registered. Because of that only our song is not playing fine. So let me stop it. Our app is stopped. And let me open the index.js and let me import that track player one more time. Import track player from React native track player. Okay, so here I need to run this command. Okay, so where is the app.js? So there, after your registry component, where your component is registering, you need to register this playback service. So I'll copy this command, and then right after here I'll paste it. So this is the service file which we created. Make sure they are both are in the same name. Where it is, right click, rename, and paste it. Okay, so both are in the same name now. Now once your app is registered, your track player will also get registered. So now we don't get that warning. Save the changes, close this file, and now close this. Let's go here and rerun our Android simulator. It will rerun the Android now. It's running. Our Metro bundler is up and running. Let me minimize it. It's loading. So build is successful. Now it's loading our bundler in the simulator. Our app is downloading now. Okay, cool. Now our track player is registered, and if you check the console, yep, you don't have that warning anymore. Now if I play it, okay, so it's playing. If I pass it, it's passing. So our music is up and running perfectly. Okay guys, now let's see. Now next what we need to do is, now what I need to do is when I click this, I need to change this. See, it's not moving, it's not changing. When I click this, I need to change the complete this image and the text and everything. So for that, what we are going to do is I'm going to create a function that we are going to keep that function as where I can create a function, scroll it, scroll up, scroll up, scroll up, scroll up. Okay, we'll keep it over here. So const skip to next equals, it's a function. Okay, and then what we need to do just a moment, when I click that, we need to move. So where it is, Okay, so actually now what we need to do is we are trying to move this flat list. When I click this flat list should move. So for that I'm going to create a reference first. So where I need to create a reference, where is the music app, music app player? Yeah, over here. So right after this, const song slider equals use reference, not user reference, use ref, and initially it's going to be null. Okay, so let's comment it for our understanding. These are custom references, and this for um, flat list reference to move flat list reference. Save the changes and copy it, and we'll go to your flat list, and when you see your flat list, add this as a reference as a first one. Ref is equals song slider. And now the function where we are creating over here, we can now refer that song slider to make, and we can make it to move forward and backward. Song slider dot current dot scroll to offset. You need to type scroll to offset. S small letter, T capital, O capital. Okay, so open the object, and here you need to pass the offset. Offset is going to be, we already having the song index, right? We created that song index, where it is song index, and we stored in the state. That's why it's moving back and forth, right? By using that same song index, okay, not song slider, song index, when the user clicks this button, we are going to add +1 for that index and multiply it with the width. Okay, so now you need to duplicate this function. It's supposed to be comma. Duplicate this function and make this function to skip to previous, and make this plus as minus. And now we need to call this function, where we need to call this function over here, skip to forward. Okay, over here we need to call this function skip to next, and then over here skip to previous. Save the changes. Now if I hit this button, it's throwing an error. What is it showing? Null is not an object. Where we are getting that error? Song slider. Why we are getting a null object over there? Why? Maybe I made any mistake. Now on press we are calling that function perfectly, and the reference is the song slider, and then why it's getting that error? Song slider. Why am I getting that error? Skip to next. It's showing it's not used. Skip to oh my god, it's supposed to be skip to next. Let's click it. That's also showing the same error only. It's showing song slider is called everything is perfect, but I don't know where we made a mistake. Why it's showing the song slider as null. Where it is? State objects, everything is over there. Song slider use reference as null only. So we created that use reference null. Maybe because of this, we'll remove the listener event, then we'll see return. Once it's rendered, we need to remove that listener events. We will remove and check. Now, no, still it's showing that same error. So now it's working, guys. Actually, the problem is I just restarted the simulator. Nothing else. Everything is same. So whatever we returned, everything is same. I just restarted. But still the problem is I given the function in a wrong button. So if I click this, it's moving forward. If I click this, it's coming backward. So what I did, what is the mistake I given here? This is supposed to be here. And here we need to give skip to next. Okay, so now if I click this, it will move forward. You can see that it's working fine. So previously no mistakes in the code, nothing, I didn't change anything, I just restarted, it's working fine. Okay, so now everything is working fine. If I click song, it's playing. Okay, so now what we need to do is, next what we need to do is just we need to bring that songs one by one. It's still now it's simply playing the same song. Okay, we need to dynamically change the track. That's what we are going to do now. We need to build the track. Let me go here. So we instead of before start building that one, okay, before start building that one, what you need to do is you need to set the durations and everything. We need to update that durations and all those things. In the same way, you need to upload this. You need to apply this slide progress and everything. Okay, so for that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new state. Okay, so we are going to create a new state. Let me go there, and here right after here we'll create a new state. Const progress is equals use progress. This progress is coming from the track player. This hook is coming from the track player. We are going to use this hook to update our slide. Where is the slide? Over here. So initially we given the value was 10 for the slider, but now what it's going to be? It's going to be the progress dot positions. Okay, progress dot position, and the maximum value it's going to be progress dot duration. Progress dot duration, not 100. Okay, so this is going to be progress dot duration and progress dot position. Okay, and then when the user is moving the slider, it should seek to that particular position also. It need to seek to that particular value. So what I'm going to do is, in this on sliding complete, okay, on sliding complete, this track player, where it is, API over here, if you go to the API documentation, this is having a function called seek or not seek to, yeah, this function. It's a capability indicating that the ability to seek a certain position in your timeline. So we are going to use that function. Okay, so let me keep it over there, open it, and inside this function now we are going to seek to that function async. Okay, and we are going to use a value. Okay, that's a parameter for that function. In that function, await track player dot seek to that value. That means when you are sliding this one, this on sliding complete will throws that value. We are catching that value, passing to this function, and inside that function we are getting that value and passing it to the seek to function, which is inside the track player. Okay, save the changes, and now let's print our duration over here. I need to display my duration, my progress duration over here. So if I'm simply printing like progress dot position, and here if I'm simply printing progress dot duration, and if you have a look at it, if I play, it's showing, see, it's showing in milliseconds. If I'm playing it, it's changing it in milliseconds over here. So we need to fix this. So to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap this. I'll cut this. I'll cut it. Okay, and then I'm going to make this enter new date. We are going to use the date. Okay, new date, create a new instant. Okay, and pass this position into it and multiply it with 1000 because it's already in milliseconds, and then convert it into a local string. So this will convert this to a local, you need to convert it into a local time string. Okay, this will convert this to a local time string, and now you can see that this is the local time string. So here we don't need this, we need this last two thing only. So let me separate that seconds. I don't need that hour, we need the seconds only. So we'll bring that hours over there. So what I need to do, I need to bring, is it recording? Yeah, so we need to bring, it's need to start from the 0 1 2 and 3, third position. So now we are getting that seconds over there. You need to do the same thing for your duration. Okay, but instead of like this, I'm going to wrap it in a bracket, and I'm going to progress dot duration minus progress dot position. So whenever the song is playing, if the position is updating, we need to keep on reduce it from your duration. Now if you see here, We are getting the duration over here in the seconds wise. It's coming perfectly. If I run it, and the second the progress is updated, the duration is keep on reducing perfectly. And if I'm moving it, see that the duration is updated and the slider is also working perfectly. Okay, and the state is also updating and playing perfectly. So our player is successfully now working. So our player is working fine, slider, everything is working fine. Now when I change this, still the same song is playing. Okay, so now we need to fix that one. For that, what we need to do is we need to write this following line. Scroll up, because when I'm changing this, when the index is moving on, the track should update, right? The track should automatically update. For that, I'm going to write this particular thing right after your use reference over here. That means changing the track. Okay, so for that we already imported one thing, that's use track player events, this hook. Using this, inside it I'm going to use the event. This is also coming from your track player, which we already imported over here. Okay, event, and this event is dot playback playback track changed, where it is here, it is playback track changed. When the track changed, we are calling an async function triggering an event. Okay, if that event dot type is equals to event dot playback track changed and event dot next track T capital next track is not equals to null. That means if the event dot type and the event dot playback track changed should be changed, and in the same way the next track should not be null. If it is not null, move on to the next track. Okay, and here we are getting that track const track is equals await what happened, await equals track player dot get track event dot next track. Okay, so now this track will have all the next track informations like this title, artwork, and the title, art, this image, and this artist name and everything. Okay, let me hit it. It's playing. If I hit next, it is supposed to be updated, but it's not updated. Now this method is to fetch all um, your informations from the okay, this is just to get the all the informations. When we are skipping to next one, we need to skip actually, but the method whatever we written now, this will get the track informations, these all personal informations, but the song need to be updated where our index is getting updated. So here only we are setting the index. Okay, so here only we are setting the index. So right after here we need to set that method. So const skip to async. I'm creating a track ID as a parameter. Await track player dot skip to that particular track ID. Okay, that particular track ID is going to be your index number. Okay, so the skip method is helps you to skip to the next, moving back and forth. So whenever my index is changed over here, now if I change it, the index will be changed. So now if I play it, it should play a different song. Exactly, now it's playing a different song now, so it's working fine. But okay, if I'm moving it, so song, everything is working fine. Okay, but the problem is like it's not supposed to load the, we are not supposed to load the index over here. Over it, if you see here, what's the problem, actual problem is, if I'm moving to the end of the song, okay, if I play, now it's playing. Okay, once it's done, it's showing an error. Okay, see, it's showing an error because it's passing an null object. So once the track is completed, it's need to move to the next track. Once the track is completed over there, it's need to move automatically to the next track. For that, what we need to do is, just a moment, 1 second. Where is that code? Come on. So we finish the skip and all those things. Just a moment. Okay, so actually, if you're moving to the end of this audio file, if you play it, okay, so now the track progress is updated and the song is playing, duration is getting updated. Once it's done, it should move to the next track. See, the audio file is automatically moving, but the image, everything is not moving. So, and we have one more problem. When we reach the end of our queue, if I play the song over there, if I play the song, okay, it throws a null error. See, it's showing because that is the problem because of your because of our the repeat mode, because the queue is finished, there is nothing else to play more, so we need to fix that repeat mode. So our code so far, whatever we returned, is working perfectly. To change this name, whenever the song is automatically completed, to change that name, what we need to do is, I'm going to use this. Wait a second, still it's not refreshing. Let me reload it, reload the index file. Yep, now it's reloaded. Now what we need to do is we created this function. So this once the change, this is the changing the track on complete. Once the track is completed, okay. So I just going to I have the all the track information in this track variable. So now I'm going to destructure all these information. So const title artwork and artist. Okay, title, artwork and artist from the track, whatever the variable we created. So I'm going to create a separate state to monitor all these things. Okay, to monitor all these things we are going to create a separate state. So right after here I'm going to create a state. So use state track title nothing, and then use state track artist, and here track artwork. Say the changes, and now I need to set all those things where it is over here. So set track title come on, title, set track artist, and then set track artwork is for the picture. Okay, now what I need to do is I need to change the wherever I defaultly set the that images and everything. Where is the render image? This time it's not going to render this item.artwork. It's going to set that track artwork, and it's not going to use these things. It's going to use track title, and it's going to use track artist. Save the changes. That should print the exact same thing. It's working. Now if I play it over here, if I play it, it's playing. Once it's completed, now you can see that the image and the text and everything is changed successfully. So we successfully done this music player, and it's changing to the next music once it's completed, and it's everything is working fine except this repeat mode. So I'm going to add few more functionalities for this repeat mode. First, what I'm going to do is I'm going to change that icon for that music code. What icon I'm going to use is, if you check the repeat icon, you can see here I ion icons, it's having looks, everything is looks same, no difference. So for repeat mode we are going to use this one, material community. We are going to use this material community icon. See, for repeat off, repeat once, it looks different. Okay, you can see the difference over there. Okay, it's recording. You can see the difference over there. Okay, so now if you go there, what I'm going to do is, where we are using that repeat icon over here, instead of this we are going to import the material. Let me copy it and paste it one more time, and here we are going to use the material community icons, copy it and paste it here, and let me go there, over here, paste it here, and here we are going to use the repeat. Save the changes. Okay, and if I give, what is that icon name, repeat off, everything is, what happened, reload it, still it's not changing. Why? I saved the file, right? Yeah, now, yeah, actually I didn't save the file. Now you can see that the icon is changed. Okay, actually we are going to change this icon. Whenever on click I need to change this icon, so for that I'm going to create two different functions for it. Okay, so let's scroll up. Where is our track? Okay, right after here I'm going to create a function to repeat icon. Okay, open it. Okay, so for that what I'm going to do is to monitor that I'm going to create one more one more state. So right after here, const repeat mode, set repeat mode equals use state off. If you have a look at it, what is the thing it's having? Off once a repeat. Okay, so I'm going to use the off. I'm going to set the CSS class and I'm going to change everything one by one. Okay, and if you go to their API documentation, if you check for a repeat mode, there also they're having, where it is repeat mode, yeah, here it is. And here also they're having three classes: off, track, queue. Off means completely it doesn't repeat any audio song. Track means it repeats the same song again and again. Queue means it repeats the overall queue again and again. So we are going to do that now. So over here, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to check a condition. If the repeat mode is equals to off, then return repeat off. Okay, save the changes, copy it and paste it two more times. Okay, if it's in the track mode, then you should repeat once. If it's in a repeat mode, the complete queue is in a repeat mode, then it should repeat everything. Okay, so now this will return the class, the CSS and everything. Actually we need to change the mode, so const change repeat mode. Okay, repeat mode equals, okay, so I'm going to write if condition. If repeat mode is equals to off. Okay, let me copy these things. Off. Okay, now instead of return, delete all the return statement. Because we are not going to return it, we are going to set those values because we are having the state, we need to update the state. Okay, if the repeat mode is off, when you are clicking in the off mode, it should change to track mode. When it is in the track mode, when you are clicking it, it should be changed to repeat. If you click the repeat, it should change to off. Okay, so I'm going to set the repeat mode as track mode. If this repeat mode is by defaultly off only. Okay, well, defaultly it was off. When you're clicking it, it should change to track mode. When it was in a track mode, if you're clicking again, it should change to repeat mode. When it is in a repeat mode, if you're clicking again, it should change back to off mode. So copy this, paste it here, paste it here. If it is in a track mode, it goes to repeat mode. If it is in a repeat mode, it should goes to off mode. Okay, now let's see whether it's working fine or not. Okay, scroll the changes and everything, and now scroll down. We need to scroll all the way down to your material community icons. Okay, so here now what we need to do is we need to change the name because we are returning that name over there. So by using a repeat icon, that's a method, dollar repeat icon, it's a function. Initially it's an off mode, so it will comes in an off mode, and then I need to change the color also. Okay, so I'm wrapping this into non-dynamic, and then a repeat mode not is equals to off. If it is not equals to off means then it should use this color. That means if it is in a repeat once or repeat mode apart from off, it should use this color. So hash, where is that color code? Use the same color code. Save the changes. Now if I click it, this is supposed to change. It's not changing because we not called the method. So change a repeat method now, call, because now on press this method will be triggered and it will do all the work. If I click it, see, now off mode is changed to repeat once mode. If I click again, now it's changed to repeat all. If I click again, it changed back to off mode. So it's working fine, but still it will not change the audio sequence and everything. If I click here, if I play this, once the music is done, it will not change back to the initial audio automatically, because we not yet done that. It's done. See, still it's showing that same error. So let me reload it. It's reloading now. And if I scroll up where we are changing the repeat mode, set the repeat mode over here, right? Over here we need to set that track player repeat mode. So right after here, so track player dot repeat set a repeat mode. Yeah, track player dot set repeat mode. So repeat mode dot track. Okay, and right after here I'll copy this, paste it and paste it here. I need to change it to repeat, not repeat, Q, and here I need to off it. If it is in an off mode, it will goes to track mode. If it is already in the track mode, it will goes to Q mode, and if it is already in a Q mode, it will go back to the off mode again. Let's see whether it's working fine or not. So let me move to the end of the list. Okay, now I'm in the end of the list. Let me click here, and if I click play button, it's playing. Once it's done, now it should move on to the initial one. Still it's in the null value. Why? Save the changes and let me reload it one more time. It should work fine. Whether this is working fine or not. Okay, it's working now. Let me check the repeat. If I click, if I move to the end, song is running. Now it's in a repeat once, so this track should repeat again. Okay, cool. The track is repeating again. Now let me change it to repeat all sequence. I'll move on to the end of my sequence now. Okay, now I move on to my end of the sequence. I'll click here, play it. It's playing. Once it's done, it should move on. Here we go. So now it successfully move on to the initial queue of your audio player. So once that queue is done, it automatically moves. So now our repeat mode is working fine. And that's it. We finished our music player, and we have to do one more thing. If you need to, because if you have a look at it, it is supposed to work in the background, so it's also working in the background. Okay, and we need to have the controls in our notification bar also, right? We need to have the controls in our notifications. So that's why we're having these capabilities. So where we are setting our track player, we need to update that track player. Await track player dot update options. We need to update this options, that track player capabilities. We need to update that track player capabilities. So if you go to their official website and if you scroll down to their API documentations, not here, where it is, getting started. Yeah, here it is. If you scroll down here, you can see these capabilities. Copy it, like play, pause, skip to next, skip to previous. Actually, I'll explain what is that is. If you open here, if you expand it, you can't see those any options, play, pause, skip to next, and all those options. So that's the track player capabilities. If I save it, okay, now if I play it and if I'm expanding it, nothing is happening. Why? Because we changed it, so let's reload it. We changed the track player, so let's reload it. It's showing a bunch of error, unhandled process. Okay, we are getting this error is because once it's rendered, we need to destroy it. Where it is use effect. Yeah, once it's rendered, we need to destroy that thing. Okay, so now this is fine. Let's rerun our simulator. Let's verify it. It's running. Building is going to completed and it's loading now. Let me keep this window over here. No mistakes, so everything is loaded. Oh my god, I'm getting that error. Where is this error is coming from? The index is out of bound. Where the index is getting out of bound? Oh, actually that's a warning. If I open this, and now you can see that it's having that track option. Actually that's a warning, so we don't need to worry about that. Actually, now you can see that if I click again, it's playing. Look at that. So we successfully created one music player and it's completely working with all functionality. If I move to, it's playing. If I move to next one, it's paused that song, and it's automatically playing the next song. Okay, and if I enable the repeat mode and I can adjust the slider, you can see that if I click it, if I click again, it's playing it. See, once it's reached that end, it's automatically start that song again. So repeat mode is working fine. If I click repeat all, if I move to next, now I'm in the end of the list, so I'll just track it again. So the slider is also working fine over here. So music is going to end. Once it's ended, now let's see whether it's taking us to the starting point of the queue or not. Look at that. So we successfully created a fully functional music player mobile application for both Android and iOS. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you enjoyed this video, give a like and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in the next video.